Hey, today I'm excited. We have 3 different kinds of fish out here today. They're all kind of salmon if you haven't noticed, but we're really excited about this one right here because this one right here, I was told 1 out of a 5,000. It's kind of rare. It's actually a white king salmon. And as we needed to compare it to something. So I didn't want to just cook it. So actually the same day I caught this salmon, which is also a king salmon. And as you can tell, the difference, I was told this has a little bit of a more fattier constitution or consistency. We're gonna find that out today. And this last piece of salmon right here on my left, you're right, is just a farm-raised back of frost salmon from the Faroe Islands. It's kind of a go-to for a lot of sushi bars nowadays. It's really clean. They don't dye the pellets when they feed the fish and all that kind of stuff. It's actually, they feed it natural. So a lot of sushi bars are using this actually because it's a better quality salmon, even though it's farm-raised. So today, we're going to go ahead and we're gonna sear these with my favorite seasoning, of course, Papa Leroy Cooks. If you're looking to get a bottle and try some of this, it's for sale right now at hooktocook.shop on Edward Tomoloso's channel. And you can get a bottle from him and give it a try. It's great on fish, any kind of fish. It's good on chicken, and just about anything you want to put it on really, but it's really meant for fish. That's why I designed it. Took me a couple years to get it done with the help of Edward's wife, Veronica. She was my taste tester. And like I said, we went through 7 or 9 versions of this until I finally got it perfect. Very little salt in this, so you can put it on liberally. It's just packed full of flavor. Okay, so we have our 3 salmon here. Like I said, really excited about this one. So, I mean, I've never eaten one. And they said, like I said, it's rare. 1 out of 5,000 comes out this way. So, I mean, if you guys know anything, that's pretty much all I know about this, is that it's a white king salmon. And they said it's got a higher fat content. If you know anything about this salmon, or if you've ever caught one like this and know a little bit more about it, definitely please leave a comment down in the comment section of the video so I can learn a little bit more about it. Because like I said, this is first time I've ever caught one, first time we're gonna ever cook one, and definitely see how it compares against the other kinds of salmon. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these into portion size. And I want to portion these so they're kind of equal. So we're gonna split them in half. This one's gonna be a little less than half, because I want the same thickness roughly to match the cooking times, because I'm going to cook all 3 of these at the same time in a frying pan to sear them, and then I'm going to finish them off in the oven. So a few of these, like I said, have bones in them, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the bones right now. Get these handy little Japanese tweezers for taking out bones. And as you can see, it's whenever bones come out really hard like this, you saw it took a little bit of effort to get it out. That means it's pretty fresh. If you get a fish and you're taking the bones out, if you fillet your own and the bone comes out really easy, that necessarily doesn't mean it's that fresh. But as you can tell, these bones, it took a while to get them out. I think that's all that's in there. Nope, there's actually one more in here. There it is. There you go. And if you want a pair of tweezers like this, I think you can find them on Amazon. If not, maybe your local, if you have a Japanese fish market by you, you can probably get them from there. They come in really handy for any kind of removing of any kind of bones, whether it be fish or anything else. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cut these up. So like I said, I'm going to take the fat portion of this salmon here, and I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. Okay, and as you can see, it's all white through here. There's the dark meat. Just like the normal salmon would have dark meat right there. It's got the same. It's just not orange, which is kind of weird, but I'm really excited about this, guys, for trying this. This one we're gonna kind of match the same size on this Wild King. And we're gonna leave these for later. Okay, and this one right here is about the same thickness, but I'm gonna cut this one just a little bit less than half because I want it to match all these to be around the same front. Actually that's a little bit thinner than I want, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut it one more time. There we go. And there's our fish. These are the free fish I'm going to go ahead and cook right now. Like I said, I gotta get my pan hot. We like our pan about, you know, as hot as you can get it, but not like smoking. So what we're gonna do is we have a frying pan over here. We're gonna stick it on probably medium-high heat. We're gonna stick it on medium-high, okay? We're gonna let it get hot. That's the important thing when you sear fish. Any kind of fish, you want that heat to caramelize the outside and kind of seal the juices on the inside. So during the rest of the cooking process, it doesn't lose any more fluid. That's what keeps the fish really nice and moist. Okay, so as that heats up right now, we're going to go ahead and season these fish with some Papa Leroy's. And my seasoning has very little salt in it, so you can put this on liberally. It's not going to make your fish salty, for sure. And we designed it that way because, you know, nothing worse than a piece of overcooked salty fish. So let's go ahead and liberally coat these with Papa Leroy's. And we're not going to be eating the skin on these two fish, but this one I had scaled. This is the farm raised, and it was scaled prior to them filleting it. So unfortunately, the fish processors up north where we were fishing didn't take the scales off, which is fine. You can still cook with this. You can still cook with the skin on, but you probably won't want to eat it because of the scales. But it will hold your fillet together during the cooking process to make it really nice. So when it comes out, you can actually take the skin off after that point, and you'll be left with a really nice, big, thick chunk of salmon. So we're just gonna let these sit here and rest for a bit after we season them, and we'll go from there. And if you guys are wondering where I caught these fish, it's been a long time coming. We know a lady who owns a lodge up in Canada, and the actual island is called Haida Gwaii, and she has a company called Haida Gwaii Safaris. Her name is Valerie, and we've been meaning to go up there for many years, and we just never seemed to have the time, but this time we did. So me and Monica, my wife, we went with some friends, maybe Fish. If you don't know her, she has her own YouTube channel as well. And with her parents, we went up there, Rich and me, Amy. And for 3 days, we caught some really nice fish. I mean, the first day we went fishing, we caught our 6th salmon in 30 minutes. I mean, it's like amazing. Salmon were jumping out around us, you know, the whole time we were fishing, which was pretty interesting. But yeah, we saw whales, we saw everything. But apparently they fish an area up there. These salmon that I caught, the wild king and the white king, they said that they're ocean run salmon. They've never actually been into salt or freshwater before, ever. So this is the time they start going up, and they come from the really cold part of the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean. So their meat is really firm and really delicious. So that's their claim to fame up there. So we will find out. That's why I wanted to compare them with some other fish. So especially this farm raised one. So we're going to go ahead and I think my pan is probably getting pretty hot. We're going to use a very neutral oil today. So I think we got an avocado oil. You want to use an oil that's high smoke point. So don't use just your regular, canola oil, and because we're going to stick it in the oven to finish it off. We're just going to sear the outside. And if you put just a regular oil in there, it may smoke in your oven. Avocado oil won't. Olive oil won't. Those are the kind of oils you probably want to use when you're blackening your fish. We got our oven set to 350 to finish it off. So make sure you got an oven safe pan when you do that. Right now I'm using a hex-clad pan, so it's definitely oven safe. You want to make sure your pan's going to be safe to like 500 degrees. But we're just gonna, it's heated up right now. I'm about 360, 370 degrees. I kicked it up just a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in here. You don't have to put a lot, just enough to sear your fish. Go ahead and roll it around, make sure it's oil's everywhere. Okay, and then when you place your fish in, you wanna make sure, I'm gonna put the skin down last. That's the last thing I'm gonna put in. So right now I'm gonna put it like for the inside of the fish, the meat side. I'm gonna put it in and I'm gonna push it away from me. Okay? And I'm gonna go do all 3 pieces. And this is my favorite piece right here. Can't wait to try it. This is the white salmon. And after we get these done and they're fully cooked and we're trying them, me and Edward, I'm also gonna decide what else I can do with these fish, you know. I'm pretty sure that these are gonna be great, the white salmon. I just can't wait to try it raw. And I was assured that, yeah, it's the same thing as a regular salmon. It's just white, so with a higher fat content, so it's gonna make great sushi. So I just can't wait to try it on, you know, a sushi, kind of a sushi thing. So we're just gonna leave this here so it gets a little crust. I'm just pushing on the edges because, you know, it's like this. I wanna make sure that it all gets seared. I'll kick this up just a little bit because when I put the cold fish and the oil in there, it kind of dropped the temperature just a little bit. And we're just gonna sear that for about like a minute. I think that's all we need, just to lock in all the juices, the natural juices of the fish. And that's what the searing part is for. And you don't have to worry about Papa Leroy's. There's nothing in there that will burn. So even if I were to kick this up to like 400 degrees and then sear something, then you don't have to worry. The seasoning will get dark because it's got paprika in it, but it won't burn. So it won't give you that bitter burn taste. So you don't have to worry about that. So, and then check these out a little bit. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I put this one in first, so I'm just gonna roll him over on his side. I'm gonna make sure. You see we got a nice color right there. So we're just gonna put him on his side like that. We're gonna do the same thing with this fish. And last but not least, the white salmon here. Okay, because we wanna sear all sides to lock in that juice. And I'm pretty sure this salmon is probably gonna turn, it's all gonna be the same color at the end after it's all done cooking. So I know this is my white salmon. This is my king salmon that I caught at the same time, just a regular king. And this is my farm raised salmon, my backer frost. So that way I keep track of, you know, which fish is which when we get done. All right, it's getting a nice little bit of a sear on it. Just gonna rinse my hands off just a little bit. But I'm pretty sure that white salmon is gonna be awesome sushi. I cannot wait. You have to stick around. We'll do another episode when we're doing eat some of that raw. And it's safe to eat raw because it's been frozen to 0 degrees for at least 7 days. And that's what makes sure it's safe to eat raw. I think it's just kind of a state, I don't think it's a federal law, but it is a state law that you need to freeze your fish before you consume it raw, just to be on the safe side. All right, and last but not least, let's go ahead and turn it on the last side here. There we go, we got some really nice color on there. That's what we're looking for. It's nice and sealed. You can tell there's no juices running out of the fish when I squeeze it, which is a good sign because that juice you want to stay inside the fillet. You don't want to lose that. There is a little hint of spice in like heat spice in our Papa Leroy's. It's not overwhelmingly spicy. It's not going to burn the back of your throat, but it will let you know that there is a little bit of spice in it. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. It's not like killer spice like a habanero or something like that, or even a jalapeno. It'll give you like a little slight tingle. Okay. All right, so I think those are seared enough. So let's go ahead and stick these on the skin side down now. Okay, and as you can see, these are about 1.25 inches thick. So we don't want to continue to cook them in the frying pan because they'll get overcooked. So what we do in the industry, that's why we needed an oven safe pan, is we're gonna go ahead and stick this whole pan in a 350 degree oven in the middle rack. for about 10 minutes. And then we're gonna check it for doneness. Around 10 minutes, I'm thinking, because of the thickness of the fish, it should be perfect. So we'll see when that comes out of the oven. When I do check this though, make sure you use, when you pull that pan out of the oven, make sure you have a dry towel. Because, you know, I've been a chef for a long time, and I've seen it many times where novice cooks come in and they're just learning. It's not their fault, they don't know. And they grab the first towel that they can find to grab a pan out of the oven. If it is wet, it will burn you, because it instantly turns that towel with water into it in a big steam ball, and it will burn your hand. So make sure when you do grab this out of there, make sure you have a perfectly dry towel, and that'll keep you from getting burned. Oh, it smells so good. So I'm just checking it for doneness right now. These thinner pieces, of course, will be cooked. You're really kind of worried about the center part. So let me show you a trick that we do in the restaurant business that doesn't really destroy the fish. So what we do is, you know, the salmon naturally has that little middle section right here. So what we'll do is we'll just stick a sharp thing down here. It could be a spatula, it could be a knife. And then we'll open it up like that. And if you see anything raw or pink inside, that means the fish is still not cooked. But then when I put it back down, it looks perfectly fine. So that's a little trick for most restaurants. They'll go ahead and open the fish and take a look like that right there. It's perfectly done. So we checked it after about 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it at that. So one of the things that you really wanna do, because you know, cooking fish is not an exact science. You're not gonna know exactly how long everything takes. So even though I did say 10 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees, you wanna check it and make sure. So what I do is I normally leave it in there for 6, 7 minutes, and I'll pull it out and check it. At this time, I pulled it out at 7 minutes and it was totally fine. So you want to stick with that kind of rule. You don't want to just say, okay, 10 minutes, Leroy told me 10 minutes, because I'm not sure the thickness of the fish that you're cooking and all that kind of stuff. So it's always like you want to make sure, you want to check it for sure. But let's go ahead and plate these up. So this one is our salmon. This one is our Baccafrost salmon. This one here is going to be our Wild King salmon, which is the normal red color or the orange color. And then this one, of course, is the white meat salmon. A little bit of fat dripping out of there when I see, that's all the juice and the fat that comes out of the salmon when I cut it in the middle to check and see if it was done. So there we go. And now we're gonna give it a try. You should let your fish rest for a little bit, because it is continuing to still cook a little bit. So I say it's not like meat where you have to let it rest for 10 minutes. I would definitely let it rest for at least 5, you know, and it's been out for about 2 minutes, so we can talk a little bit more. So in the video, you'll see probably some clips of me and Monica and some of our friends catching some halibut as well. We did catch halibut and giant lingcod and big rockfish. We did catch a lot of yellow eye rockfish, which unfortunately right now in Canada is illegal to keep, even though we did catch some nice 20-pounders, which is amazing. But we did catch some Alaskan halibut, which is it's a little different than, of course, well, maybe it's a lot different from our local halibut down here in Central California. But that might be a future episode if you guys want to see. I'm probably gonna do a comparison of our local halibut with some of the Alaskan halibut. And then, who knows, man, I might even try some lingcod. So maybe we'll compare some of the lingcod up there. The lingcod that we catch down here, sometimes we get them and they have a blue meat. All the lingcod that we caught in Canada had white meat. So I don't know if that's because of what they're eating, you know, maybe some of the crab. I don't even know if lingcod eat crab, but if they eat crab, maybe that's where they get the blue colored from. I'm not sure. But if you guys know anything about that, please leave a comment in the comment section. But yeah, so maybe we'll do a little comparison too on some of the lingcod from up north and the lingcod down here. All I know is we were catching 20-25 pound lingcod on almost every drop on our favorite baits. I know a lot of guys, you know, you guys all have your special baits, but the whole trip I used nothing but hookup baits. And if you don't know what a hookup bait is, you can definitely find those. Just look it up. It's really a unique way of fishing. It's an artificial lure, but that's all I used when I was up there, and I caught huge rockfish, big halibut, big lingcod, and I almost caught a salmon on one, but it was biting at it, but it never took it in its throat. And I would have had to let it go anyways because of the barbed hook situation, because even up there you got to use barbless hooks for salmon. But so this has been resting for a little while, so we definitely have this is our white salmon that we caught. This middle one is the king salmon, which was caught at the same time, the same trip, and but it is the orange meat king. And then this, of course, is the Backfrost. So let's go ahead and break these open, and you can see the meat is all pretty much the same. Okay, so you're dealing with the same color meat on all of them, right? And you can tell that it's really juicy, right? So that one's got a little bit of a different color to it, you know, because it might not be, oh no, it's cooked perfectly, but it just has a little bit of a different color than this. This is like sheer white. So I'm gonna taste this one first. And this is our Backfrost salmon. This is a really good oily fish. It's made specifically for the sushi market. So the oil content is really high in this, a really good oil, like omega-3. So it's good to eat that way. And the oil in this is just, I mean, as soon as you take your first bite, it's just so soft and so tender. And you know, the flavor is amazing with that Papa Leroy, that it just pops, okay? So let's go ahead and try a piece of this Wild King. Now this probably won't have as much juice because it's wild, so not as much fat. But as you can see, perfectly cooked. This one, like I said, doesn't have as much oil, but to me it has a cleaner taste because it's wild. It has a more cleaner taste than this farm raised. This farm raised is just all oil because of the sushi market. But this one has a little bit of more, how can I say, texture, and it is really good. But as I said, not as much fat, not as much oil. So now let's compare it. This is the one I'm excited about because these two are the same species of fish, but I was told this one has more oil. So let's take a look at it. It kind of looks the same. As you can tell, it's actually a little whiter. Check that out. So it doesn't, even though this is the orange, and they told me it would cook up exactly the same, it is a little different. This is the white salmon, sorry. This is the white salmon. Let's just get, I don't want to get that with my finger. But that's the white salmon right here, and that's the orange king. But they're both supposedly the same species, so let's give this a try. Oh, it's kind of falling apart. Trying to figure this out a little bit. To me, I really can't tell the difference. I mean, they were telling me it's a lot oilier, but I really don't see it. As you can tell, there's not a lot of, it's about the same as that. Maybe if anything, it's a little, got a little bit more fat in it, but not to the point where it's like this, because this right here is the king of oil, because like I said, it's made for the sushi market. You can actually see the oil coming out of it when I press on it with the fork. These you're not going to see. Well, a little bit, but you're not going to see as much as this one. This one is, like I said, made specifically for sushi. So the more fat, the better, because that's what sushi fish is based on. The fattier, the better. Like bluefin tuna is a lot fattier than yellowfin. Bluefin, more sought after, and more expensive too if you go to Japan and order that, here in the States as well. So my opinion of all, they're all great, you know, depending on what you like. You know, this really soft, really tender. These a little bit more texture, okay? And they're just cleaner tasting. If I don't know how to explain it, you know, on my taste buds, but to me, these are a little cleaner tasting. They taste more like a fish, like a wild fish or something like that. This, I don't want to say it tastes artificial, but because of the amount of fat, it is good. Don't get me wrong, but it differs quite a bit from these two right here. So, I mean, wild salmon versus farm raised, depending on what application. If I'm just searing a bunch of, like if I'm making nigiri sushi and I put a slab of this raw on top of a piece of fish and I torch it with my torch to bring out the oils, this is going to be dripping. These two, not so much. So with that in mind, I hope that gives you an idea of the taste difference, the texture difference, and all that kind of stuff. I do love these, don't get me wrong. These are, especially this one, I just can't wait to try it raw. Because like I said, in the pictures, and hopefully you could see the difference in the meat. I think there is a higher fat content in here, but really not so much that you can tell the difference from just a regular old king salmon that was caught out of the same water. Okay, so hopefully that explains it to you. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. I mean, this is a really good fish. Don't get me wrong. Really tender, really juicy, but it does have that white color. Whereas this is, you can tell it's got a little pinkness to it, right? So I can sit there and eat them all day, but I don't want to do that right now. But I hope that gives you guys a good idea of the different kinds of fish. So if you ever do see, you know, a white, say you're lucky enough to see a white salmon in the store, you know, because I would imagine they can catch them commercially, white king. So if you ever see one, give it a try, you know, and you send me a comment and see if you cook it any different from this. You know, I mean, you can do this kind of salmon any way you'd like. Put it on the barbecue. You can probably smoke it, and that's probably what I'll do. Is I'll probably smoke these and see if there's any difference when I smoke it, because that might be a little bit different. So, but yeah. So if you get some salmon, cook it. I suggest blackening it. That's what I like to eat it. I know a lot of the other guys like to eat it this way too. And as you can see, it has a nice uniform color and it's so flavorful. There's hardly any salt. I can't even taste any salt. So give us a try. Give this Papa Leroy's a try. Like I said, you can get it at hooktocook.shop. And it's great on everything. I mean, I like it on fish, but give it a try on some chicken breast. Do it the same way, blacken it, finish the chicken breast off in the oven. That locks in all the juices, and you'll have a good chicken breast. It won't be dry. So give it a try. Thanks for coming and watching this. Hopefully, you know, you've learned a little bit. I've learned a little bit, especially with this white salmon. Never cooked one before, ever. Never caught one. So hope you liked the video. Like I said, hooktocook.shop. Get you a bottle, try it, and then let us know in the comments what you thought about it. See you next time.